Hello there, beautiful soul, and welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited that you're here tonight, and today we're gonna talk all about sunsets and how you can go about to choose the right colors for creating a really nice, magnificent sunset. I will go a little bit further in detail on how to choose the right colors, what to think about when creating a sunset, all the different type of sunsets that you can go about creating, and hopefully give you a helping hand in choosing what colors you can use for your blending. It is so much fun to create sunsets, and I'm so excited for you to be here and I cannot wait to create this little magical sunset with you. So without further ado, grab your markers, get all cozy, and let's get into coloring. So, before we get into today's video, I just want to say that I'm so excited to continue this page with all of you. It was so much fun to create this little watery lake effect with you last time, and I'm so overwhelmed by the positive response. It has been so much fun to chat with you guys in the comments, and to hear that you liked it and enjoyed it so much just makes me so happy. So we're back to finish this page, or not finish it, but take it one step further. And you guys have been so sweet writing me in the comments, and I truly love when you share with me things that you would love to know more about and would love to have more inspiration for a certain topic, a certain area where you're feeling like, oh, I don't know what to do with this area. And it makes me so much fun when you guys share with me what kind of topics you would like to see me do more of, or just explain a little bit more in detail, to just add that knowledge and technique to your arsenal of techniques that you can use on your pages. And that is exactly what we are gonna do today. So today we're gonna create this beautiful sunset on this picture. It's so cute until now. I really love what we did with the water. It's just so much depth and so much beautiful emotions when I look at this one. I love how the colors came together, and I truly want to reflect that beautiful energy that we have going on here in the sky. So I've done a tutorial on a sky before, but you guys have been writing me that you would just love to have more tutorials on how to color skies and just different way to do it, and that makes me so happy because it's just one of the things that I truly just love to color and to play around with. And we did talk a lot last time when I did the sky tutorial, a lot about the blending process. So today I wanted to talk a little bit more in detail about how you can go about choosing your colors for a sky or in general. So a lot of you guys have been requesting that because you say that you sometimes have a little struggles with how to choose the right colors and how to make them all blend cohesively into each other from the hue aspect of it. And that is what we're going to talk a little bit more about today. And this is truly a topic that I could talk hours about. Because it's just so much fun when the colors you choose blend together and come together and just have that really nice play. And there's a lot of different ways to go about coloring a sky like this, and you can take it in whatever direction you like, all depending on what colors you combine. And it's truly so much fun once you dare to jump straight in it and rather have fun with blending all the colors rather than being intimidated by it. I'm just speaking of own experience. You unleash something so truly magical within doing so. And I remember the first time I set out to create like a blended night sky or a sunset, I just got completely addicted. And I just get so happy when I look at all the skies that I've done until now, and I always try to variate the colors a little bit and always try to create something new that I haven't done before. I just get so happy. And I really love to alternate between a very moody and dark sunset or a very early sunset where you have a lot of bright hues and kind of like this pastel transitioning into each other. And what I love to do is to take a lot of inspiration from nature. I find that since I started doing these sunset coloring pages, I get a completely different view on sunsets when I'm out and about. I've always loved sunsets so much, or sunrise, but what is really fun and what I catch myself doing sometimes when I look at a sunset now, since I'm coloring, is to really notice what kind of colors there truly are. And within doing so, you can take a lot of inspiration from nature in what colors you can combine. If you start with this really nice orangey transitioning into a pink and then ending it with a kind of purple, or if you go in the rather cooler section where you just have lots of beautiful yellow transitioning into blue, all depending on if it's an early sunset, if it's a winter sunset, that it usually, at least where I live, tend to be very, very magical in the sense of hues, as they have this rich red and orange pinkish tones. Or you have kind of like a night sky sunset that is all different hues of purple ending with a nice blue. So there's so many ways that you can go about coloring a sunset, and it all depends truly upon your style. So we're going to talk a little bit about, so what I want to do today is talk a little bit more about how you can go about choosing the right colors for your sunset. There's obviously no right or wrong in this. You can truly just go with whatever inspiration you have. Maybe you've seen a nice sunset today and you can take inspiration from that. But what I like to do is take a look at my swatch card, and what I want to do today is have a nice sunset that transition from this rich yellow warm orange into a pink and then ending with a nice purple and blue. And different than the last sunset that we did together in one of the first tutorials is that I want to keep the sunset pretty light, so I don't want to go too deep in the colors. Since we also have here very dark hues, I don't want to make the overall image too heavy. So that's one of the things that I like to consider when I choose colors. I want them to balance each other and not one be too heavy and the other one too light, but I don't want to make them both very dark and heavy either. Just I want to keep this sunset pretty pastel-y, and that information really helps me when I then want to search out the right colors. So I think we're gonna start with a nice warm yellow, kind of like orangey tone in the cream, and then I like to see out of all of the colors that I would use, and usually they are on this swatch card. I have here the other half, but that's not so many tones that I would use in a sunset, so that really helps to narrow it down a little. And I have the 168 set, so if you have a bigger set or a smaller set, you really just take a glance of the color that you have, and when you found a color that you want to start with, like here for example the cream, I look what kind of color would blend nicely but take it one step further into the next color that I want to do. So the beautiful part here, you have the salmon pink right next to it, and that is like a little deeper yellow transitioning into an orange, but it still has a little bit of that pink flare in it, which is where I ultimately want to go. So these always look very beautiful together and blend pretty seamlessly. And if you see the swatch card, you also notice like if color like mellow peach would be a little too bright, so that will look then very thin if you want to go from here to there. I've done that a couple of times too, but then you feel that this one is very heavy and then you have like a part that is very bright. So these two kind of stay in the same kind of degree of between light and dark. And then I have the lightest color with the next color, that is salmon pink, will blend very nice together with either way the powder pink or the fruit pink. The powder pink is very orangey and very similar to the salmon pink, so I like to take it then a little bit further. I don't know if this is too detailed, but I kind of just want to give you an idea of how my thought process goes about when I plan a sunset, because sunsets are really the only thing that I plan ahead like this. Usually I just take a quick glance at the card and see what kind of color I want to start with, and then I just go from there. But a sunset I like to plan in advance, because when you're at it you have to act pretty quickly for them to blend into each other nicely. So I like to have all the colors ready to go. So the fruit pink will be the next, and then I want to take it in the direction of purple. So a nice purple that isn't too strong and isn't too bright would be, in this case, the pale lilac. And that's really how I go about it, and go from one color to the next. So I just see what kind of colors, because if you would go from a fruit pink to a pastel violet, you would have a very harsh transition. So I try to just gradually go from the one color to the next, see what kind of color. This is a very warm purple tone, and with going to this one I have transitioned very nicely into the purple hues, and then I can use maybe a mauve shadow to get it a little darker, and then end it with a pale blue violet as the last color in the page. So those are the colors that I did prepare. And as you already see, I mean, the caps don't really give you that accurate image of how the colors will look like, but you see that they all are kind of like the same brightness of the hue. So we have a really nice transition going from the cream, yellow, orange, pink, purple, and ending it in a nice purple blue. So these are the colors that we'll be using first, and I really like to lay them out like that, because then I can just grab them in the direction as we go, and I don't have to think, okay, what was the next color now? So without further ado, let's get into coloring. And I'm gonna start with a nice cream. I think this really is my favorite color to start as any sunset with, no matter what kind of direction I'm taking it. And if you guys have been following along with a lot of videos, you will know that I truly love this one. I'm so excited to finally finish this page. I find it so cute with the water. Oh, it just makes me so happy when I see it. So I like to do a pretty big section for each color, just because I want the actual color to stand on its own and have a couple of centimeters that I can blend with the next color. And I think the first color I would do a little round around the sun, and then just have it in pretty horizontal lines over the horizon. And you really have to be a little quick when you do this, because you don't want the edges to dry too much before you start adding the next color. I'm gonna continue with the salmon pink. And you really can go as high or low with the colors as you wish. That's just all personal preference, and I don't think it's too much science behind it. I just go with whatever then looks natural. And I think I'm gonna pull this one a little over the mountain. Like that. with the cream, the previous color, and just blend those two a little bit where the lines are a little harsh. I like that, and pull it maybe here a little higher. Like that. Oh, it looks already so glowing. So we're gonna continue with fruit pink and just pull it in here and blend it nicely in with the other color. And sometimes when you go about it, I don't know if this will be the case here, but you will see where you maybe need to go one shade darker, or if you have to add some more to it. Sometimes it's really not that easy to plan ahead, and you just have to really go a little with the flow. But that looks pretty cool. And you don't want to pull these hues too high because you want to still have some space to blend the purples and the blue. That's just something to keep in mind when you go about. And sometimes it helps to go a little rougher on the edge, because then sometimes you can, with the wetness of the brush that you're currently using, you can make that transition line a little less prominent. But don't be too scared when it's a bigger area like this. You can always go back with the previous color and make it blend really nicely together. I'm gonna go back with the salmon pink and make everything on the right side a little more smooth. Like that. And you're really just not allowed to let yourself get too stressed. I remember the first times I did sunsets, I was like, oh my god, it's drying. But it really doesn't matter. It all will look super nice when it dries and it's blended together. So before this dries too much, I will maybe go a little higher with the fruit pink now that I see it at a glance, because the mauve shouldn't take all the space. And sometimes circle motions doesn't leave that harsh lines, so just something that you can try out like that. And then we're gonna go in with pale lilac and just start to transition into purple. And it's really nice because the further away you get from the sun, you have this really nice darker hues. It's like you see the entire universe. And I love just playing with that. And it adds such a moody atmosphere to your page. Like that. before that dries too much, I'm gonna go in with mauve shadow. Oh, and you see that these two colors, the pale lilac and the mauve shadow, really play nicely together with each other. It's like kind of like just a darker hue of the same color. And we maybe not even need the last color, the blue one. Like that, and then I'm going to go in with the previous color, the pale lilac, and just blend those two really nicely together so that you have that really effortless transition. Oh, that looks so cool. Oh, I love that. It's so warm and cozy. All right, just gonna go over these sections and make the transition really nice. That. And now, just to give the whole thing a little more of a cool tone ending, I'm gonna add a little bit of pale blue violet to the end of the page. Just gonna add this little nice effect to it, and be pretty light with the brush strokes because I don't want there to be too harsh of a line with this one. And when you're pretty light and only do like one direction, when it dries it will be very seamless. I just love so much about these little talking tutorials that I just get to sit down and chat with you guys. Oh, it means so much to me, and just to think about that we're all sitting right now together with our coloring books, with our markers, it just makes me so much fun, and you guys just mean the absolute world to me. Oh, makes me so happy. Like that, I think we have ourselves a pretty cool sunset. And what I like too is that it really plays very nice together with the water that we did. The hues are very warm. You see this really nice sunset, and I think when we will finish the entire page together, this all will come together super nicely. Oh yeah, I think that's perfect. Just like that. I'm not usually too scientific about how I do the sun. I might just add a little bit of cream around the edges although the sun is glowing all over, I just add a little something to make it look round, and we can do a whole lot of highlights on this one. So that looks pretty cute. So what I like to do with the clouds, like in this one, is to just add one touch of pink to have kind of like the sunset reflect on the clouds. So I think I'm gonna go for a mellow peach. I think that will look cool. Mellow peach. And I basically just love to add kind of like a shadow underneath, because it gives the impression of the light, in this case the sun, coming from beneath. And I think it just looks really cute and dreamy. And you can do any color here. You could go full on this one, as it's a little closer to the sun. You can go orange, you can go a little bit more pink, you can do purple. It's really just what your imagination tells you. And I think it just makes it really just this cute, cottony. And then what I always love to do is to add a whole bunch of stars to make it all look very, very magical. And I love to use my beloved gel pen, the Uniball Signal, but you could use basically any. So I love to add lots of stars and sparkles, and I don't go too organized into that. I just add a whole bunch of crosses like this and some sparks around it. I'm trying just to spread them across a little bit, add just some dots as well. You could add some birds at this point, flying into the sunset. And what I would love to do with this page, I get really inspired right now, when we've finished, in the next tutorial doing all the greenery, I would love to add like a kind of like a Pocahontas white stream of air. I think that could look really, really cool. I thought about doing it only in the night sky here, but I think that could look very crammed and very flat if we just add it up here. So if I imagine like a wind of of debris coming like here through here, that could look really, really cool. So I'm already looking forward to doing that in the next tutorial. And that's pretty much it. We can add some highlights to the sun, make it all nice and glossy, glowing, like a little ball. Looks like an egg. That is so cool. I just love making the whole page truly dreamy and magical. It's just supposed to make you happy when you look at it, and this one definitely makes me happy. And I think it plays really nicely with the water that we did. Oh, that is so cool. I cannot wait to finish this page in the next tutorial. There we're going to talk a lot about greenery and how you could use different hues of green to create depth in a picture like this, where you have a lot of different nuances and a lot of different depth. This is obviously super close, and there you have a couple of mountains there's further away, and how you can differentiate them from each other to create that really deep image and help it not just like look like one brick of greenery. So I'm really excited to do that, and in that video we will finish this page all together and have a complete beautiful little canoe page. And if there are any topics that you would love for me to talk more about, or that you are struggling with, or just want to get some inspiration on how to do it differently, please do not hesitate to hit me up in the comments. I just love so much making these videos for you guys, and it brings me so much joy when they can help you either way with inspiration or just purely enjoyment. And there we go. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for joining today's video. I hope you found it helpful and that you could take away some inspiration or tips in this video on how you can go about coloring sunsets. It was so much fun to do this one with you guys, and I just love how this very warm, nice transition turned out. I wish you a beautiful night, and thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for letting me share this passion with all of you. It means so much to me and makes me so happy, and I already can't wait to see you guys in my next video. Bye. Oh, look at that. Oh my god, pretty.